Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk to you today about 4 things you should never be shy about in life. You see, there's power in boldness, and sometimes we need to be reminded of the courage it takes to stand tall. We live in a world where people are constantly trying to shrink us down, telling us who we should be and how we should act. But I'm here to tell you, don't shrink. Don't hide. There are things in this life that you should never apologize for, never second guess. And they are the things that will shape you into who you're meant to be. So let's get into it. Don't let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big, too wild, or too far out of reach. If you have a vision, hold on to it. It's yours for a reason. There will always be people who want to put you in a box. They'll tell you to play it safe, to settle. But those dreams, those are the fire that will drive you forward when the days get hard. Don't be afraid to speak them out loud, to chase them down, to make them your reality. Because if you don't believe in your dreams, who will? I don't care how strong you think you are, how independent you believe yourself to be. There's no shame in asking for help. The truth is, we all need support. We all need guidance. No one achieves greatness alone. You're not weak for asking, you're human. And humans work together. If you don't know something, ask. If you're struggling, reach out. The people around you, the ones who truly care, will respect your strength in seeking help. And you'll be amazed at how much you can grow when you learn the power of humility and community. Taking responsibility for your actions, for your choices, for your life, that's power. It's easy to blame others, to point the finger, to try to sidestep the hard stuff. But the moment you take ownership of your decisions, good or bad, that's when you start to truly control your destiny. Don't run from accountability. Don't hide behind excuses. If you mess up, own it. If you succeed, own it. You'll find that the more responsibility you take on, the more freedom you actually gain. No one can ever take that from you. There is power in knowing who you are. I don't care where you come from, what people have said about you, or how many times you've been knocked down. Your worth is not for anyone else to define. You are valuable. Don't let anyone make you feel small, and don't you ever apologize for being you. Stand up, walk with pride, and let the world see your strength. Don't let fear or insecurity whisper in your ear. Your worth is something you carry within yourself. Own it. Because the moment you do, the world will start to respect you for it. Ladies and gentlemen, life will challenge you. It will try to tell you that you're not enough, that you're not capable, that you're not worthy. But I'm here to tell you that you have every right to dream, to ask for help, to take responsibility, and to walk in your worth with confidence. So don't shrink, don't hide. Stand up for what you believe in, for what you deserve, and for who you are. Never apologize for having big dreams or pursuing ambitious goals. Your dreams are the driving force behind your growth. Don't be afraid to share them with others or work relentlessly toward them, even if they seem impossible. The world needs dreamers who are bold enough to make those dreams a reality. Recognize that strength comes from knowing when to ask for help. Whether in your personal or professional life, seeking guidance, mentorship, or support shows wisdom, not weakness. No one achieves greatness alone. Don't be shy about reaching out when you need it. Own your actions, both the good and the bad. Taking responsibility for your choices empowers you to grow and make necessary changes. Avoid playing the blame game instead. Take control of your life by accepting accountability for your actions and learning from your mistakes. Never be shy about knowing your value. Whether in relationships, the workplace, or personal achievements, you are worthy of respect, success, and happiness. Don't allow others to diminish your sense of self-worth or make you feel less than you are. Be firm and unapologetic about setting boundaries. Protect your time, energy, and well-being by saying no when necessary. Healthy boundaries are essential to maintaining personal growth, mental health, and respect in all areas of life. Don't shy away from standing up for your values and beliefs. Whether it's in your career, in your community, or in your relationships, always advocate for what's right, even when it's difficult or unpopular. Your voice matters, and sometimes it's the only one that can make a difference. Dreams and ambitions are the essence of who we are and what we strive to become. They are the seeds of our potential planted deep within us, often long before we even recognize their presence. And yet, in a world that often values practicality, security, and conformity, it's easy to lose sight of these aspirations. We're told to be realistic, to tone it down, or to play it safe, as though aiming for something great is somehow reckless. But the truth is, your dreams and ambitions are not just fleeting whims or fantasies, they are the foundation upon which you can build a meaningful life. First and foremost, never shy away from dreaming big. Too many people hold back because they fear judgment or failure, or they simply don't think they are worthy of achieving something extraordinary. They live their lives under the weight of societal expectations that dictate what is possible or acceptable. But here's the reality: your dreams are personal. They belong to you and only you. They reflect the unique potential and passions you carry. If your dreams are grand, let them be grand. Don't let anyone convince you that you should settle for less. If your ambitions stretch far beyond what seems possible, that's a sign that you are on the right track. Dreaming big is about more than just setting lofty goals. It's about envisioning a life that excites you, a future that compels you to keep going even when the path is unclear. Big dreams are not about being reckless, they are about being brave enough to push beyond your comfort zone. When you dare to dream big, you open yourself up to opportunities you might never have considered before. You put yourself in a position to discover what you're truly capable of. The bigger the dream, the more effort, persistence, and resilience it will require, but that's where the growth happens. The struggle to achieve something meaningful is what will shape you into the person you were always meant to be. At the same time, we must recognize that dreams are not just for a select few. They are not reserved for the lucky or the privileged, the born geniuses, or those with special talents. Your dreams are just as valid as anyone else's, no matter where you come from or what circumstances you were born into. The world might try to convince you that success is only for a certain type of person, but that's a lie. Your dreams matter, and you have every right to pursue them, no matter how unconventional or ambitious they may seem. Your background doesn't limit your ability to dream big. In fact, it may even fuel your passion and drive, giving you the fire you need to push forward. The path to your dreams will not be easy, and it will not always be straight. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. That's part of the process. But your ambition will carry you through those times. It will keep you focused on the end goal when everything else seems uncertain. You may face rejection, criticism, or failure, but don't let those things define you or discourage you from continuing the journey. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. In fact, some of the most successful people have faced the harshest setbacks before achieving their dreams. What matters is the resilience to keep going, to learn from each mistake, and to persist. What often gets lost in the hustle of chasing big dreams is the importance of self-belief. Your dreams are only as achievable as you believe them to be. If you doubt yourself, you will limit your potential before you even begin. Confidence is not about thinking you are the best, it's about knowing that you are capable of achieving greatness in your own way. If you don't believe in your ability to accomplish your dreams, how can you expect others to? Belief is the starting point of ambition, the fuel that keeps the fire burning when challenges arise. Trust yourself. Know that you have everything you need within you to make those dreams real. Asking for help is often viewed as a sign of weakness, vulnerability, or failure, but this perception couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the ability to ask for help is one of the strongest tools we have at our disposal. It takes courage, humility, and self-awareness to acknowledge that we don't have all the answers or solutions, and that's okay. Life is not a solo journey, it's a collective experience. We're all interconnected, and the reality is that we can't succeed without the support of others. The sooner we accept that asking for help is a powerful act, the better equipped we'll be to tackle the challenges that life throws at us. When we try to do everything on our own, we often end up overwhelmed, frustrated, and burned out. The weight of trying to manage all aspects of our lives, work, relationships, health, personal growth can become too much to carry. The expectation to do it all is unrealistic and unsustainable, yet many of us still try. We might fear that asking for help will make us appear incapable or incompetent. But in truth, asking for help does not diminish our worth or abilities, it strengthens us. It shows that we understand our limits, that we recognize when we need assistance, and that we value the perspectives and skills of others. Asking for help also requires self-awareness. It's about understanding when we've reached a point where our knowledge, energy, or expertise is insufficient to solve a problem or achieve a goal. Admitting that we need assistance requires us to put aside pride and ego. It's humbling, but it's also empowering. When we ask for help, we open ourselves to new ideas, different approaches, and fresh solutions. We invite collaboration and innovation into our lives. Sometimes the people we ask for help have experiences or skills that we don't, and their insights can provide the breakthrough we need to move forward. There's also strength in vulnerability. The fear of appearing weak often keeps people from reaching out for help. But vulnerability is not a sign of fragility, it's a sign of courage. It takes a brave person to admit they don't have all the answers, especially in a world where we are constantly told that we need to be self-sufficient and independent. In fact, vulnerability can create deeper connections with others. When you ask for help, you allow the people around you to show up for you. You give them the opportunity to be part of your journey, to offer their support, and to feel value. This reciprocity strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of community. People want to help, especially those who care about you, but sometimes they don't know how to help unless you ask. Asking for help is also crucial for personal and professional growth. In the workplace, leaders who ask for help are often seen as more effective than those who try to do everything themselves. Effective leadership is not about knowing everything, it's about knowing when to rely on others and how to leverage the strengths of the team. Leaders who are willing to admit they don't have all the answers create an environment where collaboration thrives and ideas can flow freely. When you surround yourself with others who have expertise in areas where you may be lacking, you create a team that is more capable, more efficient, and more innovative. This is true in personal development as well. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving your health, or navigating a personal challenge, asking for help accelerates progress. No one is born knowing everything, and the sooner we accept that, the faster we'll learn and grow. Whether it's hiring a coach, asking a mentor for advice, or simply reaching out to a friend for support, you're opening yourself to valuable guidance that can help you avoid mistakes, save time, and gain new insights. Growth isn't linear, and it's not about getting everything right on your own. It's about learning from others and being willing to receive support when you need it. The more we ask for help, the more comfortable we become with the idea that we don't have to have everything figured out on our own. Over time, it becomes less about seeking validation or solving a specific problem, and more about cultivating a mindset of collaboration, humility, and mutual support. The truth is, there is no shame in asking for help. The more you do it, the more you'll realize how vital it is to your success, growth, and well-being. It's a reminder that we don't have to carry the weight of the world alone, that there is strength, empowerment, and community in simply asking for assistance when we need it. Taking responsibility is one of the most powerful actions we can take in life. It means owning our choices, actions, and their consequences, both good and bad. Responsibility is not just about admitting when we've made a mistake, it's about understanding that our lives are shaped by the decisions we make. By taking responsibility, we assert control over our own narrative rather than letting circumstances or other people define us. It's a mindset that empowers us to grow, learn, and become better versions of ourselves. And while taking responsibility can be challenging, especially when things go wrong, it is ultimately the key to personal growth, accountability, and success. When we take responsibility, we stop blaming others or external factors for our circumstances. It's easy to fall into the trap of pointing fingers, blaming our upbringing, our environment, or other people for the challenges we face. But the truth is, while external factors can influence us, they do not control us. Taking responsibility means recognizing that ultimately we have the power to make decisions and take action that impacts our lives. Even when things are beyond our control, our response to those situations is what defines our path forward. There is a certain power that comes with acknowledging our own agency. When we blame others, we give away our power. We place our success or failure in the hands of someone else, and in doing so, we relinquish control over our own lives. But when we take responsibility, we reclaim that power. We are no longer victims of circumstances. We become active participants in our own growth and destiny. Taking responsibility is not about being perfect or always making the right choices. It's about being honest with ourselves and owning our actions, acknowledging that every choice we make has consequences, and understanding that we can learn from those consequences, whether they are positive or negative. The process of taking responsibility starts with self-awareness. It requires us to look inward, to reflect on our actions, and to assess whether we are truly living up to our own values and standards. It can be uncomfortable at times because it means facing our shortcomings, mistakes, and failures. But it is only through this process of self-reflection that we can truly learn and grow. If we deny responsibility, we stay stuck in a cycle of defensiveness and avoidance. But when we embrace it, we open the door to self-improvement. Taking responsibility also plays a critical role in achieving personal success. Success is not just about external achievements or accolades, it's about the ability to face challenges head-on, to learn from setbacks, and to keep moving forward. When we own our successes and failures, we create a sense of accountability that drives us to continue improving. If we constantly shift the blame or avoid taking responsibility, we stay in a state of stagnation. We may achieve temporary success, but without self-awareness and accountability, we fail to build on that success in a meaningful way. True success is rooted in the willingness to accept responsibility, to hold ourselves accountable for our actions, and to keep striving for progress. Another important aspect of taking responsibility is recognizing that it is not a burden, but an opportunity for growth. Many people view responsibility as something to be avoided, fearing that it will weigh them down or make them feel guilty. But responsibility is not about carrying guilt or shame, it's about acknowledging where we've fallen short and using that knowledge to improve. Every time we take responsibility, we become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling future challenges. Responsibility is the foundation of personal empowerment. It's a tool we can use to navigate life's complexities with confidence and clarity. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging the role we play in our own happiness and well-being. It's easy to blame other people or situations for our unhappiness, but at some point we must accept that we are responsible for how we react and how we choose to live our lives. If we are constantly waiting for external circumstances to change in order for us to feel fulfilled, we are giving away our power. But when we take responsibility for our own happiness, we realize that it is not dependent on other people or external situations. It comes from within. We are responsible for our mindset, our actions, and the way we choose to approach life's challenges. Taking responsibility is not always easy, but it is one of the most powerful actions we can take in life. It is the key to personal growth, healthy relationships, professional success, and ultimately living a life of integrity and fulfillment. When we take responsibility, we reclaim our power, embrace our flaws, and take control of our future. It is through responsibility that we unlock our full potential and become the individuals we are capable of being. Your self-worth is the foundation of your confidence, the lens through which you view the world, and the filter through which you measure your success. It is intrinsic, something that resides within you, independent of your external achievements, the opinions of others, or any material possession. Self-worth is about knowing and acknowledging that you are valuable, deserving of love, respect, and opportunity simply because you exist. It is the unshakable belief that you are enough regardless of your flaws, mistakes, or shortcomings. And yet, too often, people struggle to recognize their own worth. They measure it based on external validation or compare themselves to others, failing to realize that true self-worth comes from within and cannot be contingent on fleeting standards or external approval. One of the most common ways people undermine their own self-worth is by tying it to their achievements or the validation they receive from others. Society often conditions us to measure our value by the accolades we receive, our grades, our job titles, the possessions we own, or how others perceive us. But this creates a dangerous cycle, one where self-worth is never truly stable. Achievements can be fleeting. The praise or recognition of others can be inconsistent. Relying on these external factors for validation is like building a house on sand. It is always at risk of being swept away. True self-worth, on the other hand, is anchored in a deeper understanding of who we are and what we bring to the world beyond what can be measured or recognized by others. Self-worth is not about being perfect. Perfection is an illusion, a moving target that is impossible to hit. Instead, it is about accepting ourselves fully, flaws and all. Embracing your imperfections is a key aspect of developing a strong sense of self-worth. When we learn to accept our mistakes, shortcomings, and vulnerabilities, we realize that they do not define us. Our worth is not diminished by our flaws, it is only enhanced by our willingness to acknowledge and grow from them. In fact, it is often in our most vulnerable and imperfect moments that we discover our deepest strength and resilience. When you understand your self-worth, you stop seeking constant validation from others. While it's natural to want approval, the desire for external validation becomes unhealthy when it becomes a means of measuring our own value. Seeking validation from others can lead to insecurity, anxiety, and an endless cycle of comparison. This is especially true in today's world, where social media often creates unrealistic standards of success, beauty, and happiness. People are constantly curating the best versions of themselves online, leading others to believe that their lives should look the same. But this distorted view of reality only leads to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. When you are secure in your self-worth, you no longer feel the need to measure yourself against anyone else. You understand that your value is not contingent on fitting into someone else's mold. Self-worth also involves learning to set boundaries and stand up for yourself. When you recognize your inherent value, you begin to treat yourself with the respect you deserve. This means saying no when necessary, protecting your time and energy, and not allowing others to treat you in ways that undermine your sense of worth. People with high self-worth do not allow toxic relationships or situations to linger in their lives. They know that they deserve respect, kindness, and authenticity. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it is an essential practice for maintaining your self-respect and ensuring that your energy is directed toward things and people that contribute positively to your well-being. Your self-worth also has a direct impact on the choices you make and the life you create. When you truly understand your value, you make choices that align with your authentic self. You seek out relationships, careers, and experiences that support and uplift you, rather than settling for situations that diminish your sense of self. People with a strong sense of self-worth know that they deserve to be treated with respect and kindness, and they make decisions accordingly. This doesn't mean they won't face difficulties or experience setbacks, but it does mean they approach life's challenges from a place of empowerment. When you know your worth, you walk through life with confidence, knowing that you deserve the best and that you are capable of achieving great things. Your self-worth is a reflection of how much you value yourself and how much you believe in your ability to succeed and thrive. It is a constant practice of self-acceptance, self-compassion, and personal growth. When you recognize your worth, you stop waiting for permission to live the life you want. You stop letting fear or doubt hold you back. Instead, you begin to take ownership of your life, your choices, and your happiness. And when you are secure in your self-worth, the world starts to reflect that back to you in ways that affirm your value. The people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your authentic self will begin to show up, creating a life that honors the person you know yourself to be. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful and essential practices for maintaining mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It is an act of self-respect and self-care, a way to protect your time, energy, and emotional health from being depleted by external demands. Yet, for many people, setting boundaries is an uncomfortable and challenging task. We are often conditioned to put others' needs before our own, to be accommodating, and to avoid conflict. But in doing so, we risk losing ourselves in the process, compromising our happiness, and allowing others to overstep into our personal space emotionally, mentally, or physically. Setting healthy boundaries is not about being selfish, it's about understanding your limits, honoring your needs, and ensuring that you maintain the balance necessary for your well-being. The first step in setting boundaries is recognizing that it's okay to say no. For many people, saying no feels difficult because of the fear of disappointing others or feeling guilty. We worry that we'll appear unkind, unavailable, or self-centered. But the truth is, saying no is not a rejection of the person or the request itself. It is an affirmation of your own needs. It is a reminder that your time, energy, and emotions are finite resources, and you have the right to decide how and with whom to share them. Saying no helps to protect your mental health and ensures that you're not spreading yourself too thin. It allows you to create the space you need to focus on your priorities and take care of yourself. Boundaries also involve understanding your emotional limits. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions of others, especially when we care deeply for them. But it's important to recognize that while we can empathize with others, we cannot carry their emotions for them. Everyone is responsible for their own emotional well-being. You are not obligated to take on someone else's stress, frustration, or anxiety if it begins to affect your own peace of mind. Emotional boundaries allow you to differentiate between what is yours to handle and what belongs to someone else. This doesn't mean that you don't care about others. It simply means you are taking responsibility for your own emotional health and not allowing someone else's emotional state to dictate your own. Setting boundaries is also about protecting your time. In a world that constantly demands more work, more social obligations, more expectations, it can be hard to carve out time for yourself. But time is one of our most precious resources, and we must learn to safeguard it. This might mean saying no to extra commitments that don't align with your values or priorities, or it might mean scheduling personal time for rest and rejuvenation. Setting time boundaries also includes respecting your own limits in terms of workload. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure of meeting deadlines or striving to meet others' expectations, but constantly pushing yourself without taking breaks can lead to burnout. You deserve to have time to recharge, pursue hobbies, relax, and enjoy life outside of work and obligations. Physical boundaries are just as important as emotional and time boundaries. They are the invisible lines that protect your personal space. In physical interaction, some people may be more comfortable with touch, proximity, or closeness than others. It's crucial to communicate your comfort levels and make it clear when physical boundaries are being crossed. Whether it's a handshake, a hug, or simply the amount of space you need in a room, respecting personal space is a fundamental part of maintaining a healthy relationship with others. It's okay to assert your need for physical distance if you feel uncomfortable or someone is encroaching on your personal space. Setting these boundaries ensures that you feel safe and respected in your interactions with others. Setting boundaries also means recognizing when others overstep them and having the courage to enforce those boundaries. Boundaries are not one-time declarations, they require ongoing maintenance. People may test your limits knowingly or unknowingly, and it's important to hold firm when this happens. If someone disregards your boundaries, it's essential to address the situation in a way that reaffirms your limits. This could involve a gentle reminder, a more direct conversation, or if necessary, distancing yourself from the person or situation. The more consistently you enforce your boundaries, the more others will learn to respect them. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries is a form of self-care, not self-sabotage. Boundaries can sometimes feel uncomfortable, especially if you are not used to asserting your needs. But over time, you'll come to realize that setting boundaries allows you to show up as your best self. When you respect your own limits, you have more energy, focus, and emotional capacity to give to others when it matters most. You also create space for authentic connections with others, as your relationships are based on mutual respect rather than one-sided compromises. Boundaries are not just for dealing with difficult people or toxic situations, they are also essential for preserving your own sense of identity and well-being. It is easy to lose yourself in the demands and expectations of others, but setting clear boundaries ensures that you can maintain a sense of individuality and autonomy. You don't have to please everyone, and you certainly don't have to say yes to everything. The more you practice setting boundaries, the more you'll recognize their importance in maintaining balance, preserving your peace, and living a life that aligns with your true values and priorities. Standing up for what you believe in is one of the most powerful and courageous acts a person can undertake. It requires strength, resilience, and a deep understanding of your values, as well as the ability to hold firm in the face of opposition. When you stand up for what you believe in, you're not just asserting your personal beliefs, you're making a statement about who you are, what you stand for, and what you're willing to fight for. It's easy to go along with the crowd, to follow what others are doing or saying, especially when it feels easier or safer. But true growth and fulfillment come from standing tall in your convictions, even when it's difficult or unpopular. It's a process that can be uncomfortable, but it's also one that leads to greater self-respect, a sense of purpose, and a more authentic life. At its core, standing up for what you believe in starts with knowing what you believe. In today's fast-paced world where opinions are often loud, constant, and sometimes contradictory, it can be easy to get lost in the noise. It's essential to spend time reflecting on your values, your principles, and your truth. What matters to you most? What are you willing to stand for, even when it feels inconvenient or challenging? When you have a clear understanding of your core beliefs, standing up for them becomes less about reacting to the opinions of others and more about expressing your own voice with conviction. Standing up for your beliefs often means challenging the status quo. Societal norms and expectations are powerful forces, and there is a certain comfort in fitting in and doing what everyone else is doing. But the most profound changes in society, culture, and history have come from individuals who were willing to go against the grain. Think of those who fought for civil rights, gender equality, environmental protection, or even small local changes in their communities. They were often met with criticism, rejection, and even fear, yet they stood firm in their beliefs, knowing that the long-term impact of their actions would be worth the struggle. Challenging the status quo isn't easy. It often requires pushing through discomfort, facing resistance, and enduring hardships. But it is through this struggle that growth and transformation occur. Standing up for what you believe in also requires courage in the face of conflict. It's easy to back down when faced with criticism or disagreement, especially when it feels like everyone else is on the opposite side. How many people fear conflict or confrontation because it can be uncomfortable, emotional, or even hostile? But avoiding conflict or pretending to agree with something you don't believe in doesn't bring peace, it creates internal turmoil. When you stay silent or suppress your beliefs to avoid disagreement, you compromise your authenticity and integrity. Standing up for your beliefs means that you have the courage to speak your truth, even when it's difficult or when others may not agree with you. It's about being true to yourself, even in the face of adversity. Of course, standing up for what you believe in doesn't mean you need to be combative or aggressive. It's not about forcing your beliefs on others or being confrontational just for the sake of it. The key is in how you express your beliefs. It's possible to stand firm in your convictions while also being respectful, empathetic, and open-minded. When you communicate your beliefs thoughtfully and with respect for others, you create the space for dialogue and understanding. You may not change someone's mind immediately, but you may plant a seed of thought, or at the very least, you'll be demonstrating the power of standing by your truth without being disrespectful or domineering. Standing up for what you believe in also means being prepared for the consequences. It's one thing to have strong beliefs, but it's another thing entirely to live according to them, especially when doing so requires personal sacrifice. There may be times when standing by your convictions costs you something, whether it's relationships, opportunities, or even personal comfort. The fear of these consequences can often make it tempting to compromise or stay silent. However, when you remain true to your beliefs, the rewards far outweigh the sacrifices. Living in alignment with your values creates a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that cannot be found when you are compromising or being inauthentic. While you may face pushback, rejection, or challenges, the sense of integrity and pride that comes from standing firm in your beliefs is invaluable. Another essential aspect of standing up for what you believe in is the ability to be open to growth and learning. Sometimes standing firm in your beliefs involves reconsidering or revisiting them as new information or perspectives emerge. While this may seem contradictory to the idea of standing up for what you believe in, it's actually a sign of strength, not weakness. True conviction is not rigid or closed-minded. It's about being open to evolving and growing as a person while staying grounded in your core principles. Sometimes standing up for your beliefs means having the humility to accept that you don't know everything and that your beliefs may need to adapt or change as you gain new insights. This flexibility allows you to stand by your beliefs with even greater conviction. knowing that they have been refined through experience, understanding, and introspection. When you stand up for what you believe in, you also inspire others to do the same. People are drawn to authenticity. When you express your beliefs with honesty and conviction, you create a ripple effect, encouraging others to examine their own beliefs and find the courage to stand up for what they value. It's easy to feel isolated when you're standing alone, but know that you are not the only one who is looking for authenticity and truth. Your example can motivate others to be brave and bold in speaking their own truths, creating a sense of solidarity and strength within a community.